Good morning, guys. Welcome that was English. Welcome or welcome back to Vlogmas. Today it is day 13 and I'm going to go into town and potentially go to the studio to practice sugarplum. If you watched yesterday's vlog, I talked about how I'm actually performing sugarplum. I have yet to practice it full out in the studio with my pointe shoes, with everything. I'm going to try to do that today. I have a few errands to run and then I have to come back because I teach online at home for I think 4 hours. So I have to make sure I'm back in the afternoon, but I just made the bed. I'm going to get changed, brush my teeth, wash my face, and then get ready to head out. So I'll take you along with me. I'm really hoping that sugarplum goes okay because I know I'll have to change a couple of things, mainly because the stage is smaller and I don't want to run off the stage. So I'll have to change a few things and I don't know if I can like do a couple of things like the gargoyles. I tried them in the studio and they were okay, but they were okay in the studio. I'm not sure how it's gonna look on stage when I can't see myself. Like my feet are just it's just not something I think I want to showcase. So we'll probably change that to pashas. All right, friends, so I just did a little bit of skincare, brushed my teeth. I don't like to do too much makeup when I'm going to be dancing and sweaty, so I'll just do some like mascara and maybe my brows down with the, what's it called, from Urban Decay, the Big Bush Brow. Like I said, just some mascara, my eyebrow, and then I'll get dressed into a leotard and tights and head in. I'll also bring my tutu because I want to try it with the tutu because then I can also film it and see what it looks like if there's parts where I'm like, oh, like I really should have turned out there, or that doesn't look good on me, or whatever. I just want to make sure that I at least practice it like 10 dozen times in the studio, full out, top to bottom, and make sure that everything is going to be a-okay for when I'm on stage. You know what I mean? I don't have that long, so I'm gonna head in. It's about like an hour drive, and I should get in around 11, because it's almost 10 right now. Get in around 11, practice for about half an hour to an hour, and then do some grocery shopping, be back hopefully by like 1:30 latest. And then Steve and I can have lunch together before I go to work. Well, I don't actually go to work, I work online today, but I do work online for like 4 hours, so I'll make sure that I have good lunch and I can unpack groceries because I do plan on going to Costco today to do some last minute shopping. For the holidays, I kind of want to stock up before it gets crazy, because it gets crazy, guys. Holidays always get crazy. I think I'm gonna wear my white Leo too, get in the sugarplum spirit. I was thinking last night of what to wear. I truly don't know what to wear because I have this like green tutu, but it's not really sugarplum-esque. And I also have a couple of other options, but they're leotards, and I feel like if oh gosh, if I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna go all out. You know what I mean? Like, why not just wear a big costume, tiara, tutu, the whole thing? Okay. That's that for makeup. I'll put some earrings in and then we can head out. I feel so not myself if I don't have some kind of jewelry, whether it's earrings or rings or both. I need both, honestly, to go to a ballet class and feel good. That is that. Let's head out, friends. But I need to get changed first because I can't wear this. So much nicer to be so much more organized in here. It just is so much better. I think I'll go with this, Leo. This is very sugar plummy and it's cold, and I assume the studio is going to be cold. So I'm gonna throw this on, a pair of tights, sure, these work, and a skirt, actually a tutu. I'll pack my tutu. This Leo is actually from Slinger Dance. I got it when I was in Europe. I'm going to throw in sweatpants because it is really cold. And I also have to start up my car. I love having remote start because then it will be all warm by the time I'm out there. I'm gonna throw on a lot of layers because it is very cold still. There's still snow on the ground. Here we go. A sweater as well. This fleece is honestly my go-to when it comes to like shoveling the driveway. I wear this and a shirt underneath, like a thermal. Oh, it's covered in dog hair. Love that for me. And
You know what, I'm not even gonna try. And I also love wearing it when it's really cold. I have a pink fleece as well, but it's not here. So we'll have to do with the dog hair one. All right, gonna layer on the socks. One pair of thin socks, one pair of fuzzy socks. I also have my gloves. I'm not gonna wear my earmuffs because I don't think it'll be that cold. And I'm just gonna go from the car to the store, from the car to the studio, etc. But I am going to wear gloves because I'll have to shovel off my car at some point. And Steven got me these gloves for Christmas last year, I believe. And these are one of the things that I recently found in cleaning up the closet. I'll also wear a winter jacket, don't you worry. But that's everything. Bags packed. Actually, it's not. Pointe shoes are downstairs. I cannot forget those.
So I told myself when I got to the studio that if I could get through the variation 3 times fully, then it would be no problem for the show, considering I'll be 3 times as stressed and as nervous and as jittery, but I'll only have to do it once. At least that's the math that works out in my head. So I ended up doing the variation 3 times. I filmed all 3 times. Each one got a little bit better in the beginning, but I will say by the end, I get more and more and more tired. So I've just come to realize that I truly have to listen to my body in that moment, because coming up here, for example, I have quite a bit of energy, but if I throw all my energy out in the beginning, then I have none left for the end. You kind of have to conserve it. I also definitely messed up the legs here. I'm just not used to this kind of a pas de chat or jump. It's just so odd, but it's so pretty. Now watching it back, doing it doesn't feel that pretty. It feels really clunky, but watching it, I'm like, oh, it's actually really pretty. I changed this from the envelope just because I know the stage is a little bit slippery and my shoes are super old. I don't have time to sew a new pair, nor break them in, nor do I want to wear a new pair on stage. I just want to wear my Gainer Mindens, okay? And to avoid as much slipping as possible, I'm going to take out the envelopes because I slip anyways, regardless of the fact if the floor's slippery or not. Okay, going back to stamina, this part is by far the most difficult in the entire variation, but it's so cutesy, so pretty, so magical looking. I did change this from gargoyles because I can't. They're way too messy for me to do, so I'm just doing little pas de chats, which I prefer, and then 2 échappés before I go through the ménage. Now, the ménage is truly where I thought I would slay, but I was so gosh darn tired by the end that I could not see straight. I was so dizzy at this point. I didn't even go on the music because I was like, there's literally no way that I could do this with the music right now. Back in the day when I was a professional dancer, no problem. I could do this kind of circle easily. Oh my gosh, these were like my forte. These were what I was best at. Now I get halfway through and I can't make out what's happening. Like, I'm so dizzy at this point. You can see my step at the end. I'm like, whoa. I'm just going to do a little bow here and land on the floor, and I quite literally just collapsed on the floor after that. I guess you could say that this variation was humbling and challenging and very tiring, but I did it a second time and then a third time. This is me after the first time. I am just so winded. I did also space out the times that I was rehearsing it because I'm not going to have to do it more than one time, especially not in a row. I'm going to have to do it for rehearsal, obviously, but I don't have to do it more than once. And I don't know what that little ritual was. I don't know, it came out of nowhere. This final and third run definitely went the best. I felt the most confident, I felt the most prepared, I knew what was happening, I didn't mess up the footwork really. It's so interesting to see the different angles because I'm looking at this angle, I'm like, yes, slay. I look at the other angle, I'm like, oh, you're not crossed, you're not turned out. So honestly, it's good to film yourself from every angle if you can, because if you think about it, the audience is not just in front, not just to your right or to your left, they're all around. There's hundreds of people around you, which I know is scary, first of all, but second of all, they see you as a human being in three-dimensional space, not two-dimensional, which is so hard for dancers to wrap their brains around sometimes because you just see yourself in the mirror. But it's good to film yourself every once in a while and from different angles, especially angles that you're not used to looking at yourself with. That is definitely a tip I've given dancers in the past, and I will always stand beside because I think it's so important to know your strengths as well as your weaknesses. For example, I felt really good in the beginning here, and then going into this section, I was so tired, like I mentioned before. After these retire passes, I'm like, okay, you got this. I'm literally hyping myself up, trying not to just collapse on the floor here because these pas de chats, they look super easy, but this is the hardest part. If you've done sugarplum before, you know those sections where it's really, really difficult are the sections that look really, really easy. And that's the same with any variation, I feel like. And ballet in general, you just have to make things look so seamless. And that's the hard part about it, but we love it, obviously. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing it if we didn't love it. Like I said, this was definitely the most difficult part leading up to the finale, which is the manège, and oh my goodness. I am so happy I did this 3 times. I actually ended up doing this circle a 4th time just to make sure that I knew what the heck I was doing because I'd change it every single time. But now that I've figured out what I'm doing physically, I also need to figure out what I'm wearing. Obviously, I'm just gonna do a bun, nothing special, but I really like this Leo and tutu combo. The only thing is if I'm in bright lights, I don't know if white is a good idea. So let me know in the comments what I should do, or maybe tomorrow I'll try on some costumes and you guys can let me know what I should wear. And like mentioned before, this is the 4th time I did end up doing the pas de chat échappé section as well, just to make sure that I did the most tiring section before the end. And I threw in an extra attitude here because I had more energy and it looks really pretty, I think, so I might keep it. I don't know. It makes me feel confident, but at the same time I might be literally so out of breath and so tired. But I was happy with this run, I'm not gonna lie. Watching it back too, I have a boost of confidence because, you know, sometimes things can feel a certain way and then they look a complete other way, and that's exactly how I felt with this. I felt not the best. I felt like I could have done better, and then watching it, I'm like, you know what? You did pretty good. Stop being so hard on yourself. Anyways, the voiceover is done. All right, just finished rehearsing at the studio. I need to do a couple of errands and go to the grocery store because we will be out of food soon and it's supposed to be very snowy in the next few days. So I want to make sure we have enough food and groceries for the next few days. So let's go. Okay guys, so I was just in an online class and I don't know why I can't just like have a normal night. I did something to my knee, so I'm currently just icing it. I don't know what I did, but here we are now. It is currently 6 o'clock. My 6:30 or my 5:30 person canceled, which was honestly not terrible timing because I did something to my knee in my last class, like I mentioned, but I think it stems from my calf starting to get sore and I twisted it the wrong way. My calves are really tight, so I think it's something to do with that. So I'm gonna spend the next like 20 or so minutes rolling out, stretching a little bit, then I'm probably gonna have an Epsom salt bath tonight to try to relax my muscles a bit because I think I just pushed it a lot in the studio and it's sore like on the inside here and like on the bone kind of, but it only really hurts when I like bend it and put pressure on it to bend it. Like it doesn't hurt if I'm going like that, that's fine, which is good I think. I don't know, I'm not a doctor, but I'm just gonna make sure my muscles feel good, roll them out, make sure I don't do anything. But overall, like running it in the studio, I'm really happy I did that today because it went better than I thought it would. I thought I would die. Honestly, I thought I would not make it through. I made it through and it was hard because sugarplum is so technically demanding, but I made it through and I just forced myself to do it at least 3 times so that I feel really good on Saturday since I'm performing it Saturday night. So
I forced myself to do it 3 times. I'm gonna try to force myself to do it like at least once a day since I'm in the studio every day, so long as the weather is okay. But overall, it went pretty well. Like I said, the thing that challenged me the most was the stamina. I'm not gonna lie, the stamina and the strength, because like I mentioned last time, or last night I guess, there's a lot of moments where they're doing one-footed rises where you're supposed to do like the petit battement, releve. I kept that on flat when I did the little turn, and a lot of people do, so I didn't really change that much. But that part's really hard, and it's not something I'm used to conditioning because I'm not a professional anymore, so I don't have to, and I don't have the time to really focus on strength the same way I used to when I was being paid to dance. So that was the most challenging for me. Also, the most challenging was just getting through it to the end, because the beginning it's so like cutesy and good and fun and everything's well. And then about halfway through, when you do I changed the gargoyles, by the way, to pas de chas, because that's just going to look better on stage. And I changed it to like small, fast ones, not the gargoyles, because those will not look good on stage. So I'm changing it to pas de chas. After the pas de chas, the manège is honestly the point where I felt the most confident, because I do a lot of turns. Ow, it really hurts right here. I do a lot of turns like when I do use studio time, but I get so dizzy in that part. So that's the worst thing about it. Definitely the dizzying aspect. So I need to work on that and just practice it every day, run through it. And yeah, that's about it. I'm probably gonna close out the vlog because I think tonight we're just going to have some food, stay in. I know I didn't really talk much at the studio, but there were other people there and I didn't want to like, I don't know, be like talking to myself essentially, which doesn't really matter. But I also, yeah, just wanted to be zen, focus on myself, on my dancing, and that's about it. Okay. I know I'm gonna regret this now, but not really later. I shouldn't say regret, I'm just going to not enjoy this now.
The rest of the night, I just stretched, had a nice warm bath to let my muscles relax. I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. I definitely enjoyed hanging out with you. Let me know what you want to see next. I'll take you along with me leading up to the performance, so wish me luck. Have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, happy dancing, and until next time, bye now.